Yeah, so I've got a tool that I didn't know I needed until after I used it. And it is this little 8-inch chainsaw handheld thingamajig that Dewalt calls a pruner. Well, it's an 8-inch chainsaw, basically battery powered 8-inch chainsaw. It takes oil like any other chainsaw. You don't quite get 8-inch of usable space out of the bar because it's got this tip on it, and you know it comes back to about here, but whatever. In my case, I don't intend to do much pruning with this. It fits a need that I have specific to something that I do around here, and that is when I take down a tree or clear some brush or whatever the case may be, I end up with, you know, that pile of brush that you got to get rid of. You either got to chip it or you got to burn it, or you know, put it in a pile and let it rot. And I tend to, sometimes I'll do all three, but it depends. I like to burn it when I can, when I have the time. And if I have a big project where I take down a lot of trees, then I just pile it up and, you know, maybe consider renting a chipper at some point. But for the small stuff, what I like to do is break it up small, burn it in my fire pit in my yard, keeping the fire small. That way I don't have to dedicate a spot on my property for burning, right? I don't have a place in my yard really, and the rest of the property is just overgrown forest, and I don't want to clear trees to clear a spot to, you know, light a fire, right? So I try to keep it small. So I take all my brush and I break it up small into, you know, pieces that fit in my fire pit. Generally, I would use Cindy, my loppers, which do a great job at, you know, small stuff. Then I get into, you know, stuff this big, and the loppers struggle, or I struggle to, you know, use them to get this stuff to break. I guess it really depends on how old and dry it is, right? But the Dewalt pruner makes quick work of this, and the convenience of having it battery powered, I mean, it's just unbeatable. Now, I also have some of this stuff. This is just, I think this is a hemlock. This is probably pushing the limits, although it handles it quite nicely. But this is probably as big as I would tend to go with that pruner. Otherwise, I would just break out my actual chainsaw. So over time, I end up with little piles of, you know, brush and things here and there. He's no help, by the way. But I've got some here that I need to address. And the loppers would work great for, you know, for this stuff, but not so much for this stuff. And I think that's where that Dewalt pruner is going to shine. Taking care of that stuff, making it smaller, putting it... making it small enough to fit in my fireplaces. It's the ideal tool for that. And it being battery powered, it's just super mobile. I mean, I can take it anywhere. It seems like it's going to be a very useful tool. And, you know, I didn't really know I needed it until I used it. I got the idea after learning of its existence to try it out. And it wasn't that expensive. And, wow. I think it just fits what I use it for to a T. So this is the DCCS 623 pruner, but it's a, you know, basically a handheld chainsaw. Runs off battery. It's a brushless motor. It's got a little heft to it. It's got a wide handhold here for you know, gloves and that, not going to be in the way. I think the intention here is to use two hands with this. There's the cover. It's got the tool in here, the screwdriver tip and the wrench. It says it's 8-inch, but with this tip on it, it's, you know, you don't quite get 8 inches of usable space. But you know, if you're using this to cut 8 inches, you know, you're using the wrong tools. So here's an example of a piece that's a little bit too big for Cindy, but the little pruner will do just fine. Or I could let him do it. Where are you going with that? What are you doing? That's not helpful. Can I have this back? No? You know that's not helping me, right? If I wait long enough, you think he'll give up? There's sticks all over the place. He has to grab the one that I'm trying to cut. So anyway, while he's chewing on that stick, I can tell you now that I've used this thing a little bit that I like it. I think it's intended for two hands. Probably safer that way, but you can use it with one. I have been. I like that this opening is big. Gloves are no problem. Even if you are wearing big fluffy snowmobile gloves or something, it would be no problem. The only thing is that the button for the safety, you got to push this button in before you can squeeze the trigger. It's not really in an ergonomic spot. It seems to be a little bit forward for me, but it's not a deal breaker. It seems to oil well. There's a little clear window. The tank is actually clear, so you can see the oil level that's in there without opening it up. In some of the other videos I've seen, there are a lot of complaints about the oil reservoir leaking when you set it down. I'm still on my first tank of oil, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Maybe I'll get lucky and it won't leak. I doubt it. But let's see. I think he's focused on a different stick. Way easier than struggling with Cindy. I guess he's going to steal the pieces. So yeah, in the past I struggled with Cindy. It's you know, it worked to get the little stuff, but once the branches got a little bit thick, I struggled. This is going to be a game changer for me. just because of the way I deal with my brush. I'm excited to have it. I think it's going to be great. I appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.